Hey, this is Notser, and today we're going to be talking about 0.9.1, and we're checking out some of the updated modules, and in particular, I wanted to talk about the turret traverse mod with regard to American Battleships, because this is probably one of the more universal changes that will occur in 9.1, and it's a game in my Montana. You don't really need an excuse for me to play a game in my Montana. I'm in love with this ship, and I'm in love with this build. As you can see, prior Montana games, it's nearly identical with the exception of Slot 3. Slot 3, we swapped out the secondary and the Aaa module, it was interchanged, for the faster turret traverse. And the reason we chose to do that is because the turret traverse module was buffed in 9.1. No longer does it reduce the reload by 5% and speed up the turret traverse by 15%. It merely only speeds up the turret traverse by 15%, so there is no downside to it unless you are choosing it over something else that may be better. And for a lot of battleships, the aiming mod is probably better, but not the case for American battleships. And this goes across multiple tiers. It is especially true of the tiers 8, 9, and 10. I 100% recommend going the turret traverse build on your mainline American battleships at tier 8, 9, and 10. There's no reason not to. You're just benefiting from faster turret traverse. If you are below the tier 8, 9, and 10 for the American battleships, then we have to consider, okay, gun range. Can I extend my influence out? That's the thing that American battleships had instead of aiming, was the gun range modifier. And it's really on you whether you want to go it or not. American battleships, though, are very, very slow, and the extra range keeps you in range of your targets longer, even if you're only a 20-knot ship. So it's not as cut and dry at tiers 7 and below, but tiers 8, 9, and 10, you'd have to be special to ignore the benefits. Now, you could decide to choose the Aaa module because it has a faster priority sector cooldown, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think that this is indeed the best course for American battleships, and it indeed has the most impact on your basic play, as you'll see in this game. So in our Montana build, we have double rudder. Legendary mod gives rudder and also gives damage duration reduction on fire and flood. That's obviously always been there. We have accuracy in slot 6, love that. But slot 3 has always been sort of a compromise slot for a lot of American battleships at high tier. Well, no longer that is the case. Now you can choose turret traverse, and turret traverse is great for many different reasons. Active maneuvering, also keeping your gun on the target. You'll notice in this game, with a super fast rudder, I am able to keep my guns going the opposite direction on the target, whereas in a previous build, or something like the Aaa, you can't keep up with your rudder. Your turrets just are too slow. But on the Montana, it just ends up feeling so outstanding. So obviously we're going to engage targets. We're going to take advantage of a rudder, and it's just going to be more refined play compared to the other Montana games that you've seen in last month and a half or so. So obviously we've got a couple enemy battleships here on the western side of the map. Front guns already traversed into position. Back guns getting into position, and they're getting there very quickly. We're trying to take advantage of a broadside Kremlin, so I'm aiming at the waterline, looking for a citadel, and of course we don't get a citadel. But back guns are in position, and they're ready to go. And our accuracy holds true. We have good location. Unfortunately, a little bit of angling caused ricochets. Couldn't actually pin the citadel. One thing that you should absolutely keep in mind: if you can't pin the citadel, go high on the Kremlin. Go at the top of the waterline so that you can at least penetrate his 150 or 60 instead of the 450 or 435 millimeter citadel protection. You don't want to obviously shatter on the citadel because you don't do any damage. It's much better for those shells to go in. So, something to learn there, but ooh, yeah. 3 citadels, 43,000. There's just so much command here for the Montana specifically. Because of the turret traverse, I can be even more aggressive in maneuvering. And that is kind of why I went the legendary module on my Montana. It allows for that. And clearly, if we locate our shells, they do great damage. That's one of the advantages of the Montana. So this really ends up closing any and all weaknesses that may exist with the ship. And we miss out. He didn't finish him. No citadel, but he's pretty much dead. Yeah, there you go. And it's a byproduct of this change. The fact that the turrets are so nimble and so much more responsive. I think it's like 3 or 4 seconds. That just adds up. Every second that you are traversing your gun is a second you're not firing it. Every time that your gun is going against your rudder is a potential opportunity where the enemy could avoid incoming damage because you're too busy trying to dodge out of the way of whatever, and you can't actually fire a gun. But in this build, in this design, it's really hard for you to ever not have the speed for the turrets to get right where they need to and engage the target. And considering the fact that the guns, the shell speed is very slow, it's nice to not have to worry about the turret traverse. It definitely is. And if you're someone who doesn't have John Doe or George Doe, you will not have your turrets as fast as mine are by base. So in order to get the ship down to a more manageable speed, the turret traverse is definitely beneficial. And obviously with the build I'm rocking, it's especially quick, but you can see the benefits. And I am pretty confident in recommending this for American Battleships. This is one of those modules that it just makes too much sense. It's a free buff, basically. The downside was just too great in the past, but now the upside is just too great to ignore. So we're going to engage this GK, and you notice that we're rotating our rudder away from the GK, but our turrets are traversing against the grain, and they're easily able to keep up, and we just delivered 24,000 damage. No citadel, but 7 shells made contact, and monster damage. And that has really been my impression while this has been equipped. I can just more easily avoid incoming and dish it out without having any of those awkward transitional periods where the turrets are just trying to keep up or they can't keep up and they're just stuck traversing. And are we going to catch this guy on a broadside? It looks good. It feels good. 4 overpin, by the way, more than enough to kill that Smolenskin. I'm sure 98% of the chat is probably giving a thumbs up to that Smolensk kill, right? And yeah, I'm really happy that this module got buffed. I'm happy that it opened up a possible build for American Battleships. I know American Battleships are very different from all the other battleships in the game because of the quirkiness of slot 3 and slot 6. You could argue that maybe go a rate of fire module in slot 6 rather than accuracy. I've personally always gone accuracy with my Americans, though. And I actually, and a little aside, I actually tried to make a turret traverse build work on my Yamato. I dropped the accuracy in slot 6 in slot 3, the legendary module, obviously in slot 6. And I picked up the turret traverse in slot 3, and we went the rate of fire module in slot 6. So our 56-second, 52-second turret traverse got down to 45 seconds. Much more manageable. But the kicker is the Yamato doesn't want to be close to things. Turret traverse is really for ships that are closer to targets. Active maneuvering. If you're trying to engage targets that are near each other or you yourself are being engaged, turret traverse allows you to active maneuver. But for something like the Yamato, its real advantage seems to be its accuracy over range. It doesn't want to be close. Its citadel is very vulnerable. So every game that I tried a similar, adjusted build, it didn't really feel as successful as my American Battleships. I played my Monty. I played my North Carolina. The Iowa is the same way. These 3 ships just benefit from this. They just have faster turret traverse, which allows them to stay more comfortable, have the appropriate angling for their ship, and also their guns on target. And there's nothing more that a battleship wants. You have plenty of damage output, and we can easily turret traverse left to right, trying to engage that Moskva. He is pulling back. Other modules that may go in this slot now, the Aaa Module. It improves the priority sector reload. But it does require a second follow-up attack from the aircraft carrier in order to benefit from it fully. This is where I lose the picture with a battleship. I've tried to make it work on cruisers. Doesn't really seem to work either. The only class that really, truly benefits from the Aaa module are DDs, because they're probably the only class of ship where aircraft carriers will brazenly continue the attack and do a second attack. And that second attack is where you can take advantage in that slot. So this feels right for American battleships. There's really nothing better in slot 3, in my opinion. If you're going for something like the Ohio or a Massachusetts, where you're going a secondary build, or Georgia, you might consider, obviously, a secondary range in slot 3. But if you're your typical American battleship with below average secondaries, there is no other module than the turret traverse mod. It just feels outstanding. It works. It makes it easier and manageable, and you can keep your damage on the target much easier. So obviously we're engaging this target. That GK does look, and we missed the location. That GK does look like he wants to move out, and I would love to deliver the payload towards him. So he's clearly engaging someone else. Oh, no, actually us. Great angle. You know, perfect angle. It's one of the advantages of the Montana versus the GK. He has to show a lot of side in order to get all 4 guns. I do not. And I can make it even better by angling back. And, oh, man, I love my Montana. Can I tell you how much I love my Montana? We've already got 157,000 damage done. We've only used 1 heal, and we've got 1 kill, and I'm looking to get a 2nd kill. And it just, with the heal buff, this, the legendary, Monty's in a really good spot. I really, really like it. And I love the shell arc. It works so well against literally everything. 10,000. Isn't it great to see such giant numbers? And it's very reliable. Incredibly reliable. Obviously, I don't want to cap. Now, I would love to get the final kill on this guy. Now, he is kind of burning. We do miss out on the kill, which is fine. Friendly's follow-up. This game is not completely decided yet. They have a DD and an aircraft carrier. We don't have a DD, so I still need to play it out right. I intended to push through, possibly kill the enemy aircraft carrier, and maybe engage the Moskva, who I expect that he's moving some north to northwest, and hopefully I can catch up to him. I certainly won't have trouble keeping my turrets on target. And that is a nice benefit, something that it's not taking away from any other build that you might have done in the past on your American battleships. It's just enhancing it. It's just making them even better, and I am not going to complain with my Monty getting a buff. This is one of those ships. Man, it's funny. I've gravitated towards the Des Moines. I've gravitated towards the Montana. I would like to show off a American DD gearing build with the AA. Obviously, we have to highlight that fact. Take out the enemy aircraft carrier. AA super solid. This Moskva seems to be running. Of course he's running. We take this little attack. Not big deal. Still haven't used... We've only used 1 heal. And the Moskva gets a little bit of AP. But, you know, we're going to try and hug the island a little bit more so his high gun velocity doesn't work in his favor. And this should be the last attack. And, yeah, I'm going to put it out. Honestly, I have 4 heals. There's no way I'm going to use all of them. I should absolutely use the heal. And definitely use the heal now. Yes, good. Good. The enemy Italian cruiser definitely fired on us. But the Moskva, he's running into my teammates. He's fine. He's fine dying to my teammates. And I'm fine letting him die to my teammates. Now we have a Minotaur and a Venezia. This is the Tier 10 Italian. Very strong. Very, very strong. But you can angle against it. So I engage him since he was visible. We get 2 overpin. Keep good angling. And my turrets are, you know, right on target. I can't reiterate how much nicer it feels to play battleships when you don't have to wait on your turret traverse. One of the reasons why the Kremlin is so annoying is that it has really fast turret traverse. It can keep its guns even if it's actively maneuvering to give the best armor towards your front. So that's the same techniques that you can take advantage of. Now, you do have 2 guns in the back, so it's not exactly the same, but you have great gun arcs so that it's not as debilitating to show that much side as a GK would. Another question that I'm sure some of you guys are thinking about, is there any other battleship line that I should consider for this module? And I would say I can't really find a module purpose in any other than Americans. It's because American battleships have that weird quirk where aim is not actually slot 3, it's slot 6. And boy, did I want to engage this Minotaur. Oh, nearly ignoring the sap yielding, AP yielding Italian. I got good angle against him. He can't do much damage to me. I really just want the Minotaur to show himself so I can kill him. But he seems to not be interested. And at this point, the enemy DD, we know exactly where he is. He's actually at our base. So I go, you know what? Looks like the Minotaur is trying to run away. Okay. We are going to get into a very close range brawl with this enemy cruiser. And we're going to see how well it works out. Of course, the Minotaur playing exactly as he should. The moment he sees my guns move away from his attention, he opens fire. And we're just, angling back. Those guns, man, they get right into position. It's such a breath of fresh air. Then the other part of this is, oh, gosh. I can't help but love my Monty. I'm so sorry if you guys are like, oh, man, yeah, he's really getting into this. But it's such a pleasure to control. It does a ton of damage. As you can see, fast rudder shift, very cruiser-like. The turret's traversing quick enough that I can keep him on target. I'm trying to punish this guy with our back guns. He angles basically at the last second and causes some ricochets. Kind of annoyed by that. But we do have our front guns, and we are looking to overmatch the front of his nose. Avoid the torpedoes. The back guns are getting in position. This is an all-out torp. He's going to get his torps out. We just need to kill him. And we just need to make sure we do that. And, well, quite simply, we will. But we won't avoid these torps. We're definitely being taken out by this. But we did 227,000 damage, 3 kills, 4 citadels. And if our aircraft carrier is successful, we should be able to win. But the Grozovoy is in smoke right now, and we don't have direct line of sight. One thing that the Midway should be doing, though, he should be having an aircraft out that can spot the Minotaur, but he doesn't really have that. He's really focused on killing this Grozovoy, as he should be, because if he doesn't kill the Grozovoy, all of this will be for nothing, and we'll lose the game. Now, I would really prefer that not be the outcome. So it looks like he's going to rotate back around. Air does spot him. That could mean that he's running out of smoke. So, of course, he's going to line up an attack. Smoke seems to be there. It's there long enough just so he can't aim precisely at the Grozovoy. So he's got to round it and get another attack. And, oh, man, the tenseness. I'm like, just land a rocket on him. 2 would be better than 1. Friendly attacks. He's trying. Oh, just in the nick of time. He completely clears off the enemy Grozovoy's cap, and that should be the game. There's not enough time left in it, 50 seconds or so. But the takeaways from this, obviously, American battleships, Montana, Iowa, Missouri, Alabama, North Carolina. Is there any more? If you wanted to go a tank build in your Georgia or your Ohio or your Massachusetts, go faster turret traverse in slot 3. You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to keep them on target, and it'll allow you to be more aggressive in active maneuvering. One of the best ways for battleships to throw shots off. The tier 7 through below, I would still, gosh, I don't know if it's a guarantee recommend, but it certainly is in the conversation. I think I'll say that. I will try and test more of the mid to low tier American battleships to see if the turret traverse is indeed more beneficial compared to the range mod. Obviously, mid-tier turret traverse is awful. 60 seconds is a good average, or 45 seconds. So you get a lot of benefit from turret traverse at mid-tier, especially. So I'm definitely going to look into that, but definitely recommend turret traverse on my Monty. Clearly, 227,000, 3 kills. Never felt out of control. Always felt very comfortable with the turret traverse, and obviously, testament to that, 2,639 base XP. Monster game. Minotaur tried his best, so did the Venezia, but not quite. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World War II videos, first impression, how-to, news, and review related. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.